What's good, YouTube, and a double what's good to everyone that's subscribed to the channel. Thank you for being subscribed. My name is Coach, and in today's video we're going to be doing a playtest of the Warhammer 40k Tyranid Swarm Precon commander deck. The purpose of today's video is to playtest this commander deck so that anyone who's looking to make a purchase of this commander deck can make an informed purchase. So if you like videos like this and don't mind listening to my monotone voice while you're watching them, you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, okay? And thank you if you do. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and restart this game here so that we can get a new hand. And this looks like a hand we're gonna want to keep. We have Lictor, 4 mana. This creature is 4 mana. This is 4 mana. More importantly, technically we're going to get to 4 mana by turn 3 because we have this Farseek on turn 2. So we will keep this hand and we will draw for turn, draw into a forest. So we'll get down the Evolving Wilds and sack this and search for an island. Okay, now that we have our island, we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. Draw into a Hormigaunt Horde, which has Ravenous. But we'll probably just want to hold on to this card for now. We're going to get down this forest, and we will tap the island in the forest, and we'll play our Farseek and grab a... we'll grab an island in this situation. Okay, now that we have our island tapped, we're going to go ahead and pass the turn. Draw into an Inspiring Call, which is going to give our creatures indestructible that have counters on them. So let's just get down this mountain. It's turn 3, we have 4 mana, like I said we would. We want to... Magus says that at the beginning of combat, we put a counter on a target creature. So we don't have any creatures on the board. So let's be free from playing that. I think what we can do right now, I think I want to play the Hormigaunt Horde. This also has flash, so we could pass a turn and then flash this in, or we could just have it enter the battlefield right now and give it haste, or we have the Lictor as well that has flash. So how about we pass the turn and then flash this in when our opponent plays a creature, and then we get 2 creatures out of it. So we're going to go ahead and pass, and then let's just imagine our opponent plays a creature. We'll tap 4, we'll get down the Lictor, and now we'll get a 3/3 green Tyranid warrior token. There's our token, and then we'll take our turn. Draw into a Harrow here, which is nice. It's a good card, man. Harrows. I think the fact that the land comes in untapped works out really well. So what we're gonna do here is, I kind of want to just play the Harrow, and then, or we can get down the Magus. Let's just have fun. Play the Magus here. The Magus does tap for mana, so that allows us to get more mana onto the Hormigaunt Horde over here, so we could potentially draw a card. So what we're gonna do is play Magus. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold up the blue to look like we have a counter spell or something, and then we'll attack with Lictor and Tyranid warrior. And also during combat, we're gonna choose to put our counter on Magus, so that if we have the opportunity to hold up an Inspiring Call, I would rather keep the Magus over keeping either of these 2 creatures here. And then we will pass the turn, draw into a Cultivate. Cultivate's gonna let us make our land drop this turn. So, but Magus says we tap 2. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. I think when we cast the Hormigaunt Horde, it's going to enter with 5 counters. Which would make it a 6/6, and then we would draw a card, but because Magus doubles the activation of the ability, we should draw 2 cards. If this is wrong, you can let me know in the comment section below, but we're going to go ahead and cast this Hormigaunt Horde. This is going to get a total of 6 counters on it, or 5 counters actually. And then we're going to end up drawing 2 cards here. There's the land we were looking for. Oh, nice. We'll tap these 2. We'll play the Arcane Signet here. And we will go ahead and attack with our 2 creatures again. And we're going to go ahead and put a counter on the... We're just going to get a counter onto this so that when we play our commander next turn, we could potentially draw cards if the board gets wiped. So we go to our next turn, a Gene Stealer Patriarch. Whenever this attacks, put an infection counter hard creature defending player controls. I think we'll just hold on to that card, it's fine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Yeah, I like the idea of, in case of a board wipe, we could draw a ton of cards. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll play the Swarmlord, which is exciting. Pretty sure you can tell how exciting it is by listening to the tone of my voice. And now, whenever a creature we control with a counter on it dies, we draw a card. And this is going to enter the battlefield with 2 counters on it itself because we cast a commander 1 time this turn, or this game. And so that's a 7/7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures with counters. So how about when we go to combat, Magus is going to trigger. We use those counters. Wait a minute. No, it doesn't work like that. We'll put a counter on the Tyranid Warriors. This is a 4/4 with trample. And we'll go to combat. We'll attack with 1, 2, 3 creatures, and we'll hold up the other ones here. And we will pass the turn after that. Let's say somebody wipes the board. Okay. So this is gonna go. This will go. This will go. This will go. This will go to the command zone. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 creatures go into the graveyard. So we're gonna draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go to our next turn. Play our land. We got a lot of value out of that play there because we were able to get just to draw a ton of cards, and now we have a full hand again. I think that for newer players, when you play Magic, you know, board wipes, or what are board wipes? Board wipes is when people destroy all the creatures on the board. People that win more games of Commander, what they do while they play is they constantly ask themselves the question, if a board wipe was to happen when I pass the turn, how would I recover? So if you play all the cards in your hand, you have nothing left in your hand, and then somebody wipes the board, when the turn comes back to you, you have nothing left to play. So in this situation here where we just kind of manifested a board wipe, notice that we have 11 cards in hand. You want at least 3 to 4 cards in hand to be able to recover after a board wipe in the best case scenario, at least. So in this situation here, we are totally prepared to create another board state essentially. And more often than not, especially in a commander deck that's really focused on, like the Swarmlord, that's focused on the amount of creatures you put on the board, you know, preparing yourself for that is incredibly important. And then we also have a card here called Inspiring Call, which gives creatures indestructible that have +1/+1 counters on it. And technically we could have held up that card to potentially save our creatures in this situation here. However, cards like that we want to use at the end of the game. It's a lot easier for one person to win a game against 2 people than it is for one person to win against 3 people. just something that I've learned over the years of playing. So I think that's going to be it for the video. The deck works pretty well, as you can see. You know, we drew into some pretty powerful cards over here. We played some pretty cool cards. We got Ravenous to trigger, which was a question I had going into looking at the commander deck, how easily it would be for you to be able to trigger Ravenous, because you need a lot of mana to do that. And it looks like we drew into, here's another ramp spell, here's another ramp spell, we played a ramp spell, here's another one over here. And our commander, or the other legendary creature that we played, gave us the ability to add 2 mana to our mana pool. So while it's not the most optimal way of doing that, I see that this deck does a really good job of putting mana into play like it needs to, in order for you to take advantage of the abilities of the creatures. And I was pleasantly surprised. So I didn't see anything too out of the ordinary here for me to say that this deck is more powerful than, we'll say, like the Kamiz Obscura Oculus Precon. However, I can sit here and say that it played well. You could definitely win some games with this commander deck against already built commander decks if you play it right. If you like this video, you can like this video. I want to thank you for being here. If you're still here watching this video and listening to my monotone voice, whenever I end these videos, I always say the same thing. Always remember, eat healthy, okay? Work out every single day. And most importantly, more than anything, you got to remember to believe in yourself and subscribe to the channel, all right? Peace out, people.